Galatians 5 verses 22 to 23, well, verse 22 and 23 say, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. It's now time for us to have our Shakeup program, which is an interactive program. That means you can call 457-9997 through WhatsApp or through the direct line if you wish to be a part of the program. Today's program is being hosted by Kingsley Defreitas, and I will now turn you over to the host.
Yeah, good morning to you, wherever you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, regionally and internationally. Welcome to today's program. It's Thursday. It's 20th. Is it the 20th? 19th. The 19th of March, 2026. And let me tell you something. As my friends say, you can call anytime because of the limitation. But from next week, we promise you, we have going to have some extra time with us right here on the WEFM. Hey, what happened, right? It's March, and it's a very important month in our calendar of our year. And I'm going to concentrate on a few people in my area. I'm not saying that you can't call and mention the ones in your area that you can speak about, but I could talk about, for instance, let's talk with about our former parliamentarian, Curtis King. Curtis King is from the Top Bel area. They used to call his father 26. Me have to ask when we can ask the father because the father on that. So. And then Curtis was instrumental in the issue of the National Youth Council. Israel Bruce is one of the members who still alive, did what he had to do to make sure that aspect of our development did persevere. So Curtis King, and no wonder he became a politician, but he lost his way and he couldn't sustain his maintenance of love for the people. So they say, okay, we go with Kashaka Cupid, who is also a cousin. So Curtis King did well as a human being, and as a Top Bel man, he did extremely well. He has a cousin, and I am assuming it's his cousin because he has the same name. His name is Tommy King. He was a very good cricketer. Could have bat, could have bowl, and he was a very disciplined person. By profession, he was a teacher like Curtis King. So a lot of persons who came through my area, like Curtis King and Tommy King, they were teachers. I continue to mention Tommy King all the time because you probably don't know, but a lot of things that he did and still doing, he's also involved as a farmer. He worked his lands in Queen Drive. Then we had one called Victor Byron. He's from over the area, Daphne. I remember him teaching us politics in school. At the time, I wonder if it was allowed, but he was a UPM/Ralph Gonsalves advocate, so he used to teach us the issue of politics. Victor Byron, very quiet fellow. His wife is also notable in terms of getting things done. Yes, if Victor was a teacher, Victor was a teacher also. Then we had Mrs. Wright. She is the wife of a former police officer named Mr. Aldrich Wright. Yes, Miss Wright was also a teacher, and she is still alive and she have 3 children. One is Dr. Lindy Wright. She's based in Barbados. You heard one here several times on the morning program. Ricky Wright, he used to be working at Vinlek. That's his house. And she had one called Oslin. I don't know her right name, but that's what we used to call her. Very good people in our area. We had persons like Jimmy Ford. Jimmy Ford currently works at Corey's Hazels. His parents did extremely well as farmers, and Jimmy came up knowing the lands and understand the lands and know how important the land is in terms of education. So we are remembering people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Like I said, the ones I am mentioning is the one that I am affiliated to because of living in the Bel Air Fountain Gomez area. Then we had Mr. Little, he used to own a shop in Bel Air. The Jacks was a popular name in Bel Air, and then we had Bascom, yeah, Baptist and all those persons there. And then we have some Jackson, Billy, Tommy King, we know them quite well. So we have people who did extremely well and they are known as unsung heroes like Miss Harold from French's. Persons who do what they had to do, persons who continue to do and make this country as important it is. And we want to take some time off to remember you as unsung heroes and heroes in our own sense of the word that you did extremely well. So if you are listening to us and you live in a particular area, you can call and identify people in your area who did extremely well and still making that contribution. I could speak to people in Mongrenan and those areas where I'm from, so I could tell you a few people beside the names that I have, but I'm just giving you the opportunity to mention them at 6 minutes after 11 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you can participate in our Shakeup program. I mean, there is something I was just saying to my friend off air, that people who we know work hard, who plied the trade, did what they had to do in the confine of the law. We call them hustlers. Anything you get them to sell, they sell it. I know it have people, a lady in my area named Miss Haywood, she used to sell sugar cake, coconut cake, any cake you think about. And she make an honest living. One time, her husband decided he going to redecorate the house. When he took up the carpet on the ground, he thought he was by a bank. Money like joke. She had all the money in the house. I can never forget that. He William brother. He said, he bought up more though. The amount of money wife had saved. It has some people who just good in saving money. They make you feel that things are bad. They're not hungry and they're not poverty stricken, but you ain't getting them the money so easy. They have it. They save. And let me tell you something, you know. We as Vincent have to give ourselves a round of applause. We used to get up all in the morning to go mess for freelance to pay bond pan. Now, credit union came and make it easier for us so we could pay a small amount of money for the entire year. Credit union, we thank you for that. I mean, they put it easier for us, but you put a little strain plan, bond pan to sustain themselves. And at least bond pan's still alive. Yeah, it is still alive, and we have to remember the credit unions and things in Vincent and Grenadines. I think the credit unions are good financial agencies, and we have to applaud the effort made by those people who sit on the board of directors to make sure the issue of our nationalism continue. The National Insurance Services, I am hoping to approach them quite soon because I want to take my retirement benefits earlier. Somebody tell me I will lose 6%, but here what happened? If you will lose 6%, they lose 6% because hey, somebody tell my insurance system, but I feel like I go home just now. And hey, they say life expectancy is 70. So I can go approach the NIS and tell them I want my early retirement benefits. I might lose some 6%, but I think I had less time to live than what I lived before. And because of the challenges that I am dealing with, I think I'm going to approach them to see if I could get that benefit before I reach 65. Because 65 is another 5 years from now. And 5 and 65 is 70, and 70 is when you expect it to dead, right? So I make a show, see if I can stop up a whole day. I want to live to enjoy my own benefits that I take over 24, 25 years to pay because I became a member of the National Insurance Services when Junior Bacchus was chairperson, and he encouraged Dr. Gonsalves to open a window for so self-employed persons could become members of that. So, and you have to have 750 payments to be qualified. So all you delinquent employers, if all they paying all the employees NS, are they going to make sure that the people them safe. I mean, the law is there where the employees will be protected. But the time you're going to take, you forget this matter across, a lot of people will suffer during the course of the way. But I'm hoping that the NS will show some improvement. It is to retire at 60 years old and have waited till the 65 to start get benefited. So what should you do between 60 and 65? Some of you who in a much fortunate position will say, well, what my island, then I'll say the money when I'm young. How much for Vincent could save something? The 11 paycheck after paycheck. In other words, as soon as they get paid, the money done. You put something aside and hoping that you're going to go back to it the next day. A couple of minutes after that, something happened, you have to go and get that same money that you don't chuck aside. Frankly, Steve always tell me that he applaud me for being constant and payment at the National Insurance Services. But here what happened? How much person could do that? Put aside that money every single month to make sure that the membership is up to date. It takes some doing, and that is why I'm hoping that the new government and the new chairperson and the CEO, who I think should be replaced, come up with a plan to see that people who retire at 60 should be given some sort of benefit for their contribution that they made and still making. Because it ain't easy, you know. Because I heard somebody saying a while ago on the radio that she thinks she pays her food and she had some concern and asked person to recommend what it. But hey, if you are diabetic or something chook your foot, as we just say, you have to be careful that it infests there. And here they say, oh, come down tomorrow, we can go take off 2 of your toe. Next 3 weeks after that, here they say they can cut off your foot. You're walking with a cut. Me can't cope with that one. I prefer to go home totally, man. It ain't easy, you know, that you up and down and something choking. And you know, it is might be a little cashier or a piece of rusty galvanite or something, you know, and that it's on gangrene. And you start to worry that, you know, not to make you jump out from life more than when you start to worry. So we have a lot of things to think about, and we have a responsibility to be responsible for our own health. And with the medical attention we should be getting, we hope that people should use what they get and get themselves better. And it's important. 4579997. Don't forget, we leave it at 5 minutes on to 12. So get your thoughts in so we could remember the unsung heroes living among us through the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I name a few persons in my area. I will remind who they are. I talk about Curtis King, former parliamentarian, and he used to be a teacher. We have Tommy King, who used to be a teacher. We have Victor Byron, who used to be a teacher. We have Mrs. Maul Wright, who used to be a teacher. Jimmy Ford, a businessman. We had lots of people who came through our era. Mr. and Mrs. Jack, Mr. Litlow, the Bascoms in Bel Air, and persons who you walk around and you see their life walk there, and they made tremendous contribution. Somebody asked me if Miles Bascom is a part of the. Yeah, of course, Miles Bascom is a part of the Bascom, and Tommy King is a part of the people who raised the. One time, Tommy King had a cricket team up that day. All the players up in the team was King. He's the most King left, King right, King center. They used to just concentrate on cricket. And somebody will say, what you remember fun about that? Arthur then used to play with us, right? And he used to bring the bat and the ball. But he was a quick temper person. When he out, game done. Why? He took the bat and the ball and say he game done. Anyway, so we started to buy our own ball. So Arthur didn't have no influence that way when the time come in 1984. People then say we can vote you out and bring in a Defreitas. Yeah, so we changed that. It's a pity Curtis King come and adapt the same thing. Not the cricket format, but the donkey kind of attitude, and we're complacent. See, step in and make him narcissist that he should never lose at all. Because while I never used to support Curtis had a good community-oriented background. And as a teacher and a cricketer and a village man, it was so disappointed to hear that he couldn't sustain winning seat to his cousin. But the good thing is his own first cousin beat him anyhow. So from a king to a Cupid with a capital C. Okay? All right, right. So that's it. So it's Thursday the 19th, right? Thursday 19th. It's 15 minutes, 30 seconds after 11 o'clock. You listen to WEFM Thursday morning Shakeup. 4579997 is the number to call, or you can send us your text right there. And here you happen. We're not ready to call at 11:45. We're going to be taking no callers because it could be too much traffic comes in the same time when you're having a minute. That is why we are considering giving you some extra time from next week on the Shakeup program so you could have that luxury of time to make your contribution without trying to race it off. For so those persons listening to us overseas and you want to speak about somebody in your area, like Mrs. Pampy, Mrs. Jones out in Cedars, who did extremely well. I have a grandmother who one lived till she was 96 and one lived till she was about 90. And my mother died at 69 and my father died at 83. So I'm hoping that I don't get the heredity from my mother and my father. I hope I get heredity from my grandmother that I can live long, right? That is why I try to be careful. And on my way down to WFM, I was listening to somebody and they say, living long is eating healthy. And that is true. When you reach certain age, you have to start to use less sugar, plenty water, and all. And see, I got this shooting and this shooting, I have to use plenty boiling and then kind of thing. I buy some chicken wing yesterday. We think that for the cook some and cook some chicken wing soup, pea soup. I mean, it could taste better if you get a little more beef in it, but just the idea of not eating what it shouldn't be. It's chicken wings. So if I make a little extra money, I might buy some breast because they say chicken breast good for you. So I'm gonna have some chicken wings, soup Sunday tinted with breast. But I don't know what to answer you. We seem to have a caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Kingsley.
Hey,
you have the best idea. You have the best idea. Take your money early. You get more money in the long run if you live to 70.
Well, I tell you something, Kojo. I spoke to somebody yesterday that you're quite familiar with, and she's working at the NIS, and I asked her for advice, and I went to her because I understand she knows the finance of the living, and she told me I should try and take it early if it is possible. So I'm going to do that.
Yes, let me put it this way. If you live until you're 70, the 6% that you might lose, you will gain it in the long run. You probably gain more.
Well, I plan to live until 100, but that is stretching it.
Okay, but I'm saying you're going to still gain more.
Definitely.
Because if you
over the period of time,
another 5 years, if you work for another 5 years to gain that, probably what, $100 more or something.
Yeah.
If you take it all in, you realize how much $100 that you will be,
Yes. No, I agree with you. I'm giving it serious consideration, and I'm going to do that.
Just like a lot of people, the best time to take it is at the age of 70. I asked a man, were you waiting for 75? You only have 5 more years to live if you live that long. So,
but if you wait until the 70, you're not even 1 year. I'm supposed to live the 70 years.
But that's not saying you don't have much money to get.
Yes.
Out of the system.
Yes.
So for you to enjoy it, you
no, but I agree with you. I'm going to consider that, take the 6% loss, because over a period of time I will benefit more in the long run in terms of the length of time I live. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That goes without saying, man. I hope a lot of people think like you, so they could enjoy their life before they go.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I look at things. I look at it at life. I started working when I was like 14 years old.
It's a long time.
Yeah. And when you already reach 60 something, you don't work 50 something years basically, of your life. To enjoy 10 years or 5 years, or you know what I mean? So the only you could retire and enjoy life, do it because you don't, you don't work more years. You don't put in more years in work than you're going to enjoy at the end of the day.
Yes, yes.
You might be lucky to live a longer life. Like some people live for 100, so they might enjoy a bit more. But nobody guarantee that. So the quicker you could get out and enjoy some life, do it.
Yeah, that's good advice at a cost that, as you say, would not have an impact on you in the long run if you live longer than you plan to. So I hope people listen and consider that. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I just thought because I heard you making him mention, I said, let me just support my brother Kingsley on that one.
Yes,
for those people who might be thinking, for those people who might be thinking about, I got the extra $100 if I wait until I'm 70. It didn't make no sense.
Yes, well,
it didn't make no sense.
Yeah, well, appreciate the input there. Okay, thank you. 4579997 to be a part of our discussion, and you could weigh on that particular point and see if what you think was said by Kojo, if he is making any sense. Just give it some serious thought, and you may say, but if you seem to encouraging that, you will put a strain on the NS because a lot of people will go, well, that is their privilege. That is why they took time off to get up to 750 payment. So when they have that payment, that they are fully qualified, and you have to give them their benefits and like that. But I'm not seeing enough from the NS. When you're on these programs, you have to be so careful because you might go say something that you should say, but because the person has a very close affiliated to somebody sitting around here, they might say, oh, he been and if really beating up on Renzo Haynes and this and that. Sometimes you wonder if it really worthwhile making any comments, because what it is, and facts is facts, and persons have to understand that people has rights. According to Anissa Baptiste, inalienable rights, right? Rights that is your right, and you just have to come forward and deal with them. So like I say, you could mention persons in your area who you think that should be mentioned. Like I know there was a lady, I think she's deceased now, Miss Horn. She did extremely well. I have this cousin who died. Her name was Bethel Bob. Yeah. Can you see that name is unfamiliar? Bethel Bob? Yeah, she is the mother of Morris Horn. How is she becoming Morris Horn? Yeah, because she was involved with Morris Horn before she married to my uncle. So she was an extremely good businesswoman. She used to, what we should call speculators, traffickers. But over the years, she has transformed it to a business, and Paul used to pay attention to that particular. I know a woman in Dr. Smith named Martha. Martha lived her life as a trafficker. I know a woman in North Union, right next to the road, named Miss Barker. That's all they did. I noticed that Miss Barker's daughter is continuing the trade, and that is good. And something that is affecting our lifestyle, and we don't realize. Everywhere we go in St. Vincent, when you look at the employment status, if you walk into a store, you walk into government offices, you walk into all, most of the employees you see are women. And I'm wondering if what we've seen is manifesting itself, that women are putting themselves in better position, or they are more qualified for the job market. You meet a man today and you ask him, what do you do? Oh, I'm a laborer. He may say, I'm a farmer. We farming? Me, he probably tell you top of the hill. And you look at women, young women and women across the board, they're doing extremely good job. And that is why I'm so fond of the new parliamentarians from the NDP side who won the election, in terms of coming up and realize that the politics is not a men war. It's human. And we had Ms. Felix, who I didn't support her, but the people voted for her, and I have to respect that. And the lady over the river, who I thought wait a long time and persevere, and she is now elected parliamentarian. We had the new Speaker of the House, we had the former Speaker, Rochelle Ford, we have the new junior minister, the PRO for the NDP. We have a couple of young people, young bright people, and we notice that most of the jobs today, anywhere you go, it's about men. Men used to be driving. Now you see women driving and doing sales, represent and things like that. Look at even the minivan conductors. I can point out about 4. And if I'm riding a van and the woman's man nice and look nice, me ain't going to van man them with them pass on the way, so I ride a woman. You crazy? I mean, we have to take note of these things. These people are making themselves adequately prepared for the job market. And we have to understand that is what is important. You may say, but Kingsley, there are lots of policemen in the Royal Service and the Grange Police Force. Yes, the majority will stand out as policemen because policemen ponder the word men. But there are some outstanding policewomen who serve. I know a lady who's currently working at the airport over at the fire station. I'm lobbying for Commissioner Williams to transfer her and move her. I think that is a waste of resource. Her name is Miss Bailey, and she's not related to Bujo. Okay, it's just a name. And I'm saying that she's not related to Buju because I was hoping that Buju would use his influence to see if he could influence them too. You can have the resource of 18 years as a police officer, staying at the fire department, come at the airport, work occasionally and go back. No, you need to put that person someplace like in serious crime or in CID where she could use up experience. I met a police officer recently, well dressed, and I said to her, you know, if the police was what it used to be, you could not be employed and dressed in uniform. She said, why? I said, do you know that your hair is not allowed to touch the color of your shirt? She said, excuse me? I said, yeah, but anything happening today? Now, I see a policeman yesterday. He got more beard and sideburns than me. I said, brother, ought to stop shaving thing. But Kingsley, me I get razor bumps, so me have to be careful. Yeah. If you use some cheap razor, we expect. You have some $2 C1 razor, you use it, what do you expect? And then, I end up with some soap by the back of the head. I see a fella the other day with a thing by the back of the neck. I say, brother, what happened to that? He say, get it from Dorothy. I said, Dorothy, $1 razor blade. I said, what? And they tell you, the sport fresh look terrible. I didn't even meet her. I said, well, boy, you look terrible. And people understand that they have a responsibility to take care of themselves. You can't wait and say, man, I can go buy some cheap razor blade and shave. And no, you have to buy something good, really good. Understand what I'm saying? And when you finish, babe, get some Alcolado, the black washing soap, and wash your head with that. So wash your soap, the blue one. Do let me. Every Wednesday, when I go home, I take a Dettol bath. I use it just because I think that too much dust in the atmosphere, so I do that. We have to be responsible to make sure that what we're doing is important. It's 28 minutes, 30 seconds after 11. Let's take our first break during the Shakeup program, and we'll be back with your thoughts momentarily.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line it, with the red and white case, show me what you like it. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. With over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Luther say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Welcome back, and you're listening to 88.2 FM The Sound. We're talking about service excellence in the tourism industry. Let's take a caller.
Good morning. I'm Jackie, a front desk agent at Holiday Villa Hotel for the past 25 years.
25 years. Great. So, Jackie, tell us, what makes an excellent front desk agent?
I love my job. As a service provider, I'm always polite to customers. I'm very helpful and I smile a lot. You know, visitors as well as locals feel very welcome when you treat them with respect and concern for their welfare.
Very true. We all need to look at it that way.
Yes, you see, tourism is everyone's business. You've got to live it, love it, embrace it.
Tourism is for me. Tourism is for you. Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah, live it, love it, embrace it.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean Islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interbrand Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
WEFM 99.9, home of quality programming. A source of reliable news and information. Home of legendary voices and music. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound. Visit us online at www.999wefm.com or call 457-9994. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound.
28 minutes, 30 seconds on to 12 o'clock in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You listen to WEFM, frequency assigned 99.9. It's time for you to call 457-9999. And those of you who listen to us at our website, we got to know that you're up there. I sure my sister is somewhat there. She's like an unofficial ambassador of WEFM. I tell Jules and them to get see some kind of job, and she need a work, at least to work. To bring in some money so I can beg her show it time, right? Yeah, 457-9997. There's a particular area that I go and sit once I get a chance, and some people were having a conversation. I was not listening to them, but I was hearing what they say. And they were speaking about van drivers and the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, the attitude of how they drive and all like that. And if you do a surveillance in Vincent and the Grenadines about persons who drive vehicles, van drivers will come in for the worst. And they will say, are you attacking them? No, it's a fact. The most indisciplined drivers on the road are minibus operators. And they will say, well, Kingsley, we have to hustle and try to break a little or something to make an extra dollar, you know. That may be so. But you're going to put my life at risk because you want carrying a purse full of money, give the man after gas. I mean, come on, you have to be careful. I mean, I know the van business is a competitive business out there and the laws, and it appears sometimes that the traffic department, this might be a strong word, target them, but they make it themselves being targeted. I see a van driver came up Tongue this morning. He go to the first new and he signed the button where it said no entry for omnibus. When he got to the top at Nash Corner, he make a left say no entry for bus beyond this point. Then when he reach up Sign Hill and he should make a left to go down at the French's Gap, he seems to have a caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I hear you making a statement. No fire personnel at the airport works at the fire station of the airport.
Excuse me?
No fire personnel from the fire station at Argyle works at the airport.
So which department Miss Jack is assigned to?
Fire personnel only.
Which department Miss Jack is assigned to?
Which one is Jack?
Jack who work at the airport, as you say, and after she finishes her shift, she goes over to the station that is associated with the fire station. Which department she work with?
That is a different, that's an outpost. That's a different section. She works on an outpost.
So she work at the outpost close to the airport, Argyle, and then she come to the airport and do.
It's an department. It's an outpost.
Is the outpost fire department?
No, the outpost is different than the fire department.
Okay. So you're saying the outpost is different than the fire department at the Argyle airport.
Different building here.
Okay. Somebody is saying to ask you a question. Are you a police officer?
Was.
So you're speaking from experience?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, okay. We will take what you're saying.
Okay.
We will take what you're saying and we will clarify that, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you for listening. At least somebody used to be a police officer say that the outpost where police is confined to is different to the members of the Royal Symmetry and the Grenadians Fire Department. Well, Ms. Jack, if you listen, call me and tell me, because I often get the impression that the police officer I see on regular duty at the Argyle airport are assigned to the fire department. I thought that they assigned to the fire department and not just, as he said, at outposts where you have police officers who just do routine check and security check at the international airport at Argyle. So there is something I have to verify, but I will still maintain having a police officer with 18 to 20 years experience at an outpost, according to the former police officer, is a waste of resources. Send you, I can't say Calico, send you someplace in CID, someplace to use your experience and put together a better policing to the people of Simpson and Grenadian. But I will take your suggestion and find out if the police you claim is at the outpost is different to the ones who are assigned to the fire department at the international airport. We seem to have a caller. Good morning.
Yeah, greetings, brother.
Yeah, Bongo Shaka.
Yeah, heal blessings and to your lady in the studio, my sister, and the rest of the listeners. Kingsley, you will speak about airport, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, it's something I'll be watching, and I look at other countries, right, pertaining to the water trucks. I don't like the fire trucks, the water trucks that goes out the fires. I've seen a video on the recent fire at the Qualico police station, and in one of it, I saw a very large water attendant, and the person who was broadcasting the video, they said, that's from the airport, right? It kind of was tickling my iris that why are we removing a water attendant from the Argyle airport?
Well, if that took place, Bongo Shaka, that meant that the airport was not being operated at the time, so they took the chance to get a good fire equipment to deal with the fire, which was taking place at Calico. But they have three new fire attendants at the airport, and when we say new, they looks new. But Bongo Shaka, because of the international standard, the authorities will have to replace them in the next couple of years, because while they might not have the physical wear and tear, the technicality of having them there over 5 years will have to be changed, and then we will probably assign them to different outstations. But then these ones that they have at the Argyle airport, they are so big. So I do they might do like what they normally do, partner up in Kingston for showcase so people could see them.
Because Kingsley, airport is not just to out file maybe that occur planes or whatever. Yeah, you could have other problems. You could have electrical problem, just spark something. And
no, but Bongo Shaka, you're making a good point, because I heard the next day after the fire at Calico, they were wondering why all fires that take place in the Grenadians and are being tried to put under control is use water. At the airport, we use foam that is designed especially for that, okay? So some people will say, well, they had 3 trucks by the airport, why you don't bring them down? You can that they are confined to the airport, okay?
water is a very conductive element, sometimes for certain fires.
Electrical fire.
Yes, that's why you see the more countries are up to par, they develop other technique, as you say, with the foam, you know.
Yes.
It's quicker and more reliable and so on.
Yes, definitely.
So I don't know what training the brethren and sisters them have out the airport, but it's a whole different ball game out in fires.
Well, Shaka, you're talking about training. I can remember, right? When they had the E.T. Joshua Airport, they used to get up on mornings and they used to have some sort of routine. And one day, a guy decided when he going to drive the fire truck. Me know what training he had. 2 weeks, about 2 minutes after, we hear brother on the fire truck on the side. Mash up a brand new fire truck, you know. When the fire him so fast, I see him up there, he look rusty like a whole nail. I said to myself, boy, people trainers, you just can't go drive a vehicle that's full of water and moving liquid with a certain amount of speed. You have to be very mindful how you do that. Because people hear you talk and they say, well, everything you do, you criticize. No, you have to have certain training to drive certain vehicle.
Critics is important.
Definitely.
It have reliable source of information and grounded truth.
Yes.
You only want the facts, grounded truth. But Kingsley, since you're out there, have you ever seen any like any training session going on every so often? Like,
up to the day before yesterday, they had one because I heard a whole bunch of noise by the fire brigades that I was wondering. So I make an inquiry and they were having on-field training when the airport was a bit quiet. So they do training occasionally to make sure that they're up to some sort of standard. Yes.
That's very good indeed.
And Bongo Shaka, every time they playing come, regards to what the policeman is doing, they have to leave their post and get the fire truck started and ready in case of an eventuality.
Yeah, stand by. Each flight that comes in, that's international.
Yeah, so they do that all the time. Yeah.
You have people watching,
Yeah. Do that all the time.
TLI and FBI, there are people all over the place spying. Kingsley, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, right? I attempt to call you tonight, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow. Although you can call and speak of matters what you want to. But recently we had this uproar, uproar about gangs and violence in school and so on.
I don't believe there have any gangs in St. Vincent. I believe there's some thugs who want some beat to some.
Pick the question out my mouth. I want to ask you, Kingsley, because sometimes we don't debate. I was flowing my discussion, but I want to interact with you there, right? Do you really think there's gang in the schools?
Schools? No, man. I don't believe it have. It has to be some bad boys call themselves a gang. They're far from gang. They can't even spell a gang.
Yeah. Want to be. Yeah.
Want to be. That's the right choice of word.
Watch now. Let me show you something, right? These youth, man, of them, especially some the young sisters of them, the young ladies, right? People say, well, you call ladies and watch your behavior. Well, I call them ladies, okay? And they get influenced, right, about these so-called social media. Kingsley, watch now, and you see this AI and all these things, right? These people invent these technology know that in the future ahead, things like this will happen. But they don't want to do that because everything is about money. Then eventually they come and start to improvise all kind of measures. You see Australia just put a thing there and that only you have to be up 16 and above to be able to have a phone and all these things, right? A lot of countries, and it's hard for them to do it. It's done gone out too far. And its parents now have to be able to guide the children. I know some parents who don't allow the youth with the phones. I know a parent in particular that the youth is studying and they take with the phone. It only sometimes they get on the phone and monitor what they're doing. Right? So it's gone too far.
But you ready for the parents that may you have it technically savvy to monitor young people on phone?
No, that's the thing. But
Bongo Shaka,
if we to control our own system.
Bongo Shaka, you there's some place stand up, right? And you have a phone. And for some reason it starts to malfunction. Give it to the smallest child, 2 years. He'll laugh after you and say, Mister, you stupid, you have a phone.
I come across them many times.
Exactly.
Sorry, and this youth have me laughing. No, you and watch like a youth and you know exactly. So
Yeah,
all
these
things
days
have
they
an
borrow the
influence.
technology in their head when it comes to phone, boy. Seriously.
But, Kingsley, watch now. The basic thing in life is mind, okay? Which is your heart, how you been shaped. We've been shaped different from our old school days, you know, of our time. People in our age.
Man, watch what happen. We used to get too much of clout and thump and push down. Now these days, is that something called abuse? You can't even think about beating a child these days, so that's why they're probably so privileged. I guess some clout in my head still hot enough today.
So it's how are you going to train the mind? First, the groundation, it starts at home. Also, and next is the foremost important.
Well, ask a good question. How are you going to change that? I am hoping that the authorities will increase sex of consent at 21 years old. Probably minimum 18. You could vote at 18. But don't tell me you have a girl home and she's 16 and she say, Daddy, I'm going to live with my boyfriend. Excuse me? The first time I see a woman naked, I've been 19, you want to clout me. 19 years old, I'm going to shock the girl clout me, she say, you're big, man, you're so stupid. Now, you have a child, 16, I tell you, hey, now, Bongo Shaka in my mother home, we never used to use the word breast, you know. It's been titty. You're having some titty and things like that. Yes. Now, today, boys, I'm going to tell you, they're going to Euro for some cricket. Remember the word? Yeah.
Well, you see, and you get improvising a lot of the songs also. So what I'm saying now, how are you going to train the mind of that youth, right? Of that child, okay? It starts from there. It was inhibit in that child, and it's.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and that is the problem. To how we're going to deal to solve those problems that we manifest themselves in today's society. How we're going to deal with that, I don't know.
So basically, because a lot of the parents are so busy engaged in some other thing that they come complacent that they say, okay, she could take care, he could take care. And but our parents were like that. They keep a continually scrutinizing of what we're doing. A neighbor come and tell them something, they call, they pull you up right away.
And discipline. Let me tell you something, right? I have a nephew. People think he's my son. He's about 27, right? I count. They tell me he have 27 girlfriends. I 60 years old. How much girlfriend I can remember I had? 3. 1 stay alive and 2 died.
You see, you are the discipline. You ain't going and say to hold yourself around.
Well, no, I didn't have no discipline. I didn't have to know how to get the girls.
No, not only that. Maybe you are the inspiration that you have to be connected to somebody. I'm going to have sex again and you're not connected. I'm a boss like that since I'm young. You got to be connected
well, that's
somebody.
Right. That's why I only have 1 son.
But Kingsley, watch now. Oh, what? You see, in the schools, right? Instead, you just going in and just sitting around a desk for hours, whatever. You have program can stimulate the mind of children, right? Let every class maybe have a debate class. Sometimes you have a clash with another form, another class, right? You have it in the auditorium. You have the rest of the school setting. You have special days to do these things, right? Let people engage in interaction and so on. Form clubs, okay, like a tour club. I remember when I used to go to St. Martin's, right? We had formed, which my brother was the inspirator of that, and like Joe Dells, all these other guys, right? And they form what you call the St. Martin Educational Tour Club. And what you do, you coordinate with the other island school. And then in the summer, you go on a camp. Remember those days with the boat, so you could walk with a lot of ground provision food stuff, right?
Yes.
And the first trip they did went to Barbados, and it's a real fun and other engagement. So if we have that, get the children mind off of certain things, man. Because those neurons in your brain, you know.
But I hear you mention a guy. I hear you mention a guy named Joe Dells. He went to school with a good man, the man. One of the best lawyers in St. Vincent.
We were the bad boys in St. Martin and some of the top best educated.
Yeah, he's one of the best lawyers in St. Vincent. I mean, not on plug for him, but it is what it is because I had experience where he had to represent me, and boom, We get case
Yeah,
get thrown
that's
out.
to tell you that. So you see,
Yes.
that was saying. So we had a lot of stuff going, no matter, you know, and to speak of gangs, right? I heard Mr. Weeks mention it. I think I done Sunday somewhere there, which I agree with him. Kingsley, what? In the school, right? You have friends that you close with. When you see school over or lunchtime, you see you, John, Joan, Jane, whatever, team up, you know, and you hang in. Everybody used to have they where they hang. Something we hang, we go outside in bakery, see 4, 6, and we roll in there. Or we buying the same thing. We go out where we buy school, but and so on, you know. So everybody had their own.
You talk something there, and when my mom,
was no badness.
when my mother was alive, she tell me she always remember Gonzav for one thing. Soon as school over, 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock, he put his bag on his shoulder and he run from home, from school straight to home. But hey, my mother she did implement that. When school over 3 o'clock, we 5 past 3 we have to reach home. Because we live very close.
So tough discipline.
So me don't have no time for children and friends. Me must have 5 forces that me consider my friends. Jumbo Thomas is one, and a guy named Anthony Ho. The rest is just tang-alangs. Yeah.
The last thing, let me tell you, right? When I was living in New York, right? I used to go and pick up this lady I was with. She had two youths, right? Used to be in a junior school. I saw and pick up, right? I used to interact with the teacher. It was a Haitian lady, the head mistress, okay? And interact with the teacher and so on. And I kind to find out that there's a lot of youth who is very undisciplined. I spoke about that. I asked the previous government years ago. I went into a school in the country, which I discovered had some of the most baddest youth that they want to put it and behavior with undisciplined ways. So I went and visited. I talked to the youths and mentioned about bringing and into karate training for them and so on with the discipline. And they were excited over it, but I never reached nowhere with it, you know. Across you get a lot of vibes.
Well, as you notice.
And what I did, Kingsley, let me tell you, right, in New York, what I did, I told the lady, I said, look, get the teachers, right, to pinpoint. That's why you got to scrutinize all your children in your class. You got to be very sharp. You watch your behavior pattern, you watch your body expression, you watch your facial expression. Sometimes you talk to them as a teacher, you show concern. And people who is undisciplined, I said, get all the youths of them who's very undisciplined and make sure, send a letter to the parents that these children have to do this program, this martial art program that I'm going to bring into the school for you, and I'm doing it freely, right? And they did that. And you know, Kingsley, that teachers ask me in about 1, 2, 3 months, what I've did to these youths. They want to know in that space of time, these youths behaving different in the class. Parents say, what you do to Jesse, man? I said, what do you mean? I said, man, Jesse has changed. You know, he's different, he's humble, he's more respectful, he listens better, and so on. Okay? These are programs. So you got to get programs to keep these neurons in these brain clicking in a positive way. Yes. And develop that mind. I've did it. I'm a case in point. I've did it through martial arts in school. And what recently I was doing a stint at the Fair Government School. So one time a summer program.
We run out of time, eh?
Yeah, I noticed in that. So, and one lady was look at me, she said, Ross, you are good, you are real patient. I say some of them both see all them youths you have there. It's some of the most baddest youth in the school now. Look how you have them. And so discipline, and some of them so change in 2 weeks, 1 week. Yeah. You know, English. So we got to get serious with the youth, get them engaged in other things and just book and take them out, bring them to the studio, WEFM, kill them in a park, kill them on a farm, go by Lennox Lampkin Farm, go here, go there, go at Vin Lake area, go at the power plant.
Well,
you know, let them
I wish you all the best with the wishful thankful. Okay, man, take care.
Take care, sir. And come off with this chicken thing, you know, man. Concentrate on fish, your Kingsley.
All right.
I listen you because I lost your number. You and Frank know by law because somebody try hacking my phone and eventually it seized up. So in months I haven't communicated with people. So any people who listen to me and know I'm not communicating them because of that. So I gotta get back your number, Kingsley.
Okay, right.
So if you can get an A, I'll take it again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I want to be your nutritionalist, right? My sister and tell him, eh?
Yes, okay. All right.
Man, bless up and give thanks, Kingsley. Very good, instructive discussion.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Man, and give me your number.
Okay, all right.
Right. Okay.
5 minutes, 30 seconds on to 12. It's Shakeup, and it's coming to the end of the Shakeup program. But you have a WhatsApp?
A comment earlier, but this one was in relation to, I think, the vans. When you started talking about the vans,
yes.
This person said it was really true. The police need to deal with them, with their dressing and their pants down. And the person also says, making money is not rat race. Making money is timing, know when to hold back and know when to go.
Well, I promised that person I will elaborate on that next week, Thursday. But honestly speaking, I got a job here already, my friend, and the person wanted a taxi. Where the person dressed? He said, you want a taxi to go to Kingston? When I look at him and say, boy, if I carry you, go stool by my seat. Pans are along there. I just ignore him and text some, and there you go, somebody else. Man, I said to myself, man, the poor is worse than the thief. I go encourage you for going in my vehicle. When then you have my van. So go base. Hello, 4 minutes before 12 o'clock. I want to thank all of you for spending this interesting time with us right here on WEFM. And as we say Thursday, you get us from 10:30, so you'll have much more time with us. Have a wonderful day. I go on.